All right, guys, a little while ago I got a package in from Italy. Had to sign for it, and inside was this little lock. It is a Rielda. I'd never seen one of these before, and fortunately it came with a nice letter from Michael. And what Michael said is, this lock's made by an Italian company, Rielda. It's the most common locking device for slot machines and vending machines in Italy. And then he says, sadly, I can't provide you with a programming key. So it is a reprogrammable lock, and we'll talk a little bit about that in just a minute. But he can say that works very quick and easy to use. Please take a look at the product leaflet, and I'm curious to see if this slot machine lock is really pick-proof as advertised. And goes on to talk, it doesn't work very smoothly, but that's neither here nor there. Now here is the Rielda brochure that he included. It's called the Model RS1. And when you look at the guts of this guy, let me move this stuff up here. This thing is quite complex. Because it is a reprogrammable, I guess it has to be. But inside of here, let's take a look at it real quick so we know what we're talking about. This is oriented as if it were in Europe, so the cuts to the key are on the bottom. So when it slides in, it will engage, the bitting will engage with these 7 sliders right here. These 7 sliders are not spring-loaded, but notice they've got little hooks over here that engage, that actually integrate into this sidebar. So if you don't have these raised to the right level, those bars will prevent this sidebar from compressing into the lock against these 2 little springs. So if that can't compress, you can't rotate the core. Really cool. On this side, and obviously this is spring-loaded, there are 7 springs, there are gears that are interlocked here, and there's a decoupling lever here for what they call the gold key, the reprogramming key. So what we'll do, you'll notice here we have cuts on the side of these as well. So there's a fault gate on the top, a fault gate on the bottom, and what appears to be a real gate, which is slightly deeper right down the center there. That deep part will engage with the little tits that are on the sidebar on this side. So quite a complex lock. To make things even worse, we got a couple of anti-drill pins that keep you from drilling out the reset mechanism, the interlock mechanism, and also the slider. So really well thought out, quite a complex system. It's very similar, I think, to what we've seen before when we disassembled the Quickset Smart Lock, which is also reprogrammable. All right, now what I will tell you, inside of here, let's do it real quick, flip this guy over, because I want to talk about this reprogramming. Now, Michael did send me a set of keys, and these keys, unfortunately, no longer work. They did work perfectly, but now they no longer work. And that is because, trying to get ready, I thought, I'm going to just feel around and see how quick it is to pick this thing, if I can even pick it. And I did. I picked it very, very quickly. Went to 90 degrees. I thought, that's great. I slid it back, and I said, let me get started on the video. And then when I went to try the key, it would no longer work. And here's why. There are, according to this brochure, let me slide it over here, something like 7 million different keys. And I believe what happened here, 1 in 7 million, man, I ought to buy a lottery ticket today. I believe I picked it to the gold key reprogramming bidding. And the way that works is you slide your gold key and you rotate it to 90 degrees, you pull it out. You slide your real key back in there and you relock it, and it'll reprogram itself to your key. Well, I did everything except put the key in there. I had no idea, so I rotated it 90 degrees. There was no key in there. I rotated it back, so whatever those sliders happened to be at inside of this lock, that is what it rekeyed itself to, which unfortunately is not the same as this key. In fact, I can't even get that guy in there. But what I thought would be interesting to do is, first of all, show you how quickly you can pick one of these. And then perhaps, this is a permanent sealed lock, perhaps after we do that, and I have it in the open position, we can drill that out and take a look at some of the innards on this thing. So let me clamp it back in the vise and show you exactly what I did to open this in about 5 seconds. All right, guys, got this thing installed on my slot machine here in the Lock Lab. The key doesn't work, but that's kind of show you that it's still locked. And what I'm going to do here, very paracentric keyway, so I can really only use from about there up. All the rest of this is so zigzaggy, it's useless. So I might as well use bottom of the keyway. I'm going to slide that dude right there, and I think that'll hold. Now remember, the teeth in here are, when there's no tension, they're just kind of brushing each other. But if you apply a lot of tension, you're going to force those teeth to interlock, and you're never going to get it open because you won't be able to move those sliders. So keep very, very light tension and let the tool do the work. Now the tool I'm going to use, I want the maximum number of attempts in the minimum amount of time. And this would be the perfect tool for that type of attack. So let's give it a shot. Let's slide him in there. And just very slight tension, just to hold the tensioner in place. And really not a lot more than. Now you notice it fell into a false set. Once you're there, those teeth are engaged and they're in the wrong position. You might as well recock it and start again. So that's what I'm going to do. Again. Keep falling in a false set. I'm going to start changing the angle up a little bit. And there we go. Took a little more than it did the first time, but we did manage to get into it. All right, we got it picked, so I can answer the question there, Mikhail. No, it is not unpickable. But since we got it open, let's have a little fun with it. The key obviously does not work. Let's see if I can slide it in to maybe rekey it. No, still won't go in there. So, all right. Well, we do have it open, and while we do, that would be a great time to take it apart. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to go ahead and drill out this small pin on the side of here. Once we drill the pin out, then, because it's in the unlocked position, we should then be able to slide the entire core out. Take a little closer look at those guts. We may as well benefit from my screw up, right? All right, let me take a drill press and make that happen. All right, guys, I'm noticing some rather significant differences between this lock and the one that was pictured in the brochure that came with it. This looks like a normal, like here are the sliders. It is a slider lock, and there's only 6 of them in here, not 7 as were shown inside of that brochure. And on top of that, on the sidebar, which is located right there, we have only one sidebar, and he doesn't have any of those little tits. It's just a straight up sidebar, which will work just fine because we do have the gates inside of this little slider. And one of them, the deeper one, is where that sidebar fits, and the others are false gates. But in terms of the reset mechanism, I don't see any reset mechanism of any kind. And I also don't see the other sidebar, which in the picture is located over here. So I'm wondering if maybe Mikhail is pulling our leg or maybe sent the wrong model of the lock. I really don't know. But anyway, this is what we got. Despite it being a slider lock with a sidebar, I think once and for all we proved that yes, indeed, this tool will work. Oops. Wow. All we need is a disaster to call this complete. Anyway, guys, appreciate your time. Stay safe, stay legal. Mikhail, thank you, sir, for sending in the, well, it's a Rielda. I just don't know which model it is. Thanks, guys.